let's have a talk that we shouldn't need to have because everyone should know by now about property and violence. 1. Property. What is property? Property consists of 1. Your possessions that you bought with your own money that you worked hard for. An item you did not buy with your own money is not your property. It is the property of the person who did buy it. Only the owner can give consent for loaning, sharing, or temporary use of their property by others. The person who does not own it cannot decide how it is used because they did not buy it. 2. Your home, if you own it. Your names are on the deeds, and you have fully paid off a mortgage. A house or flat you are renting is not your property, you are a guest there. A house you have not paid off the mortgage on is not yours either. If you live with your parents and are over 18, you are a guest in the house they have bought. If, based on the above, your home or land is your property, you may defend it with deadly force after several clear warnings from intruders, burglars, thieves, home invaders, or government agents. This is called castle doctrine. A man's home is his castle. If you cross onto someone's property, if you do not begin to leave the premises when instructed to 3 times clearly by the owner, you are a property violator and you are in danger of death from your own actions. 3. Your body is your property. The rights of the borders that make up your body shall not be infringed. You have no right to touch, penetrate, or dress the body of another person who is not you, unless they consent to it. That is to say, by invitation they allow it. If they do not, you may not lay your hands upon them, or it is assault or rape. Bodily autonomy must never be violated, with an injection, with hands, with a penis, with tools, with toys, weapons, or whatever. Your children, if they are under the age of 18, are your property, until they become an adult over the age of 18. Then their body becomes their own property. You as parents defend your children as your own property from the decisions of schools, or government, or communists, who attempt to control them or assume they are the child's masters instead of the parent, who rightfully is. Children do not belong to the state, schools, communists, or other organizations. They are shared property of their biological father and mother until they become adults. 5. Your guns, if you own them, usually this applies to American citizens, are your property. You may not take someone's guns. 2. Violence. What is violence? Violence is physical harm or injury to another person. Words can never be violence. When is it evil or good to use violence? 1. You must not encroach upon the freedoms of other men, read as humans, or else you forfeit your own right to freedom and are suitably imprisoned or punished. If someone is peaceful and you attack, you are the violent aggressor and in the wrong. 2. You must not physically harm or injure another person when they have engaged you only in speech. Words are never violence. It is a weak person who chooses to be violent first, when only words have been said to them. 3. Self-defense. If someone has initiated violence, or been the first to strike a blow, in one encounter where no previous violence has been done to them, they are the violent aggressor. You may engage in physical violence and fighting to defend yourself after somebody has initiated a violent attack. If someone else starts physical violence in one encounter, they are in the wrong. If the person they have attacked uses violence to defend themselves, they are in the right. Separate encounters in the past have no bearing on this encounter in the present. 4. Consensual violence. If two parties agree or consent to be violent with each other, for one example, a boxing match, it is okay to engage in this violence based on the terms or rules of the consent given, say, for a certain time period, or until an event that delineates an end to the violence. 5. Government monopolies on force, or no recourse. If a government that is authoritarian and pays state officers to defend it is seen to enact policies, laws, or actions on the public that the public themselves decide causes them harm, and if there is no dialogue with the government to stop this, or it is seen that elections, or voting, or referendums aren't stopping the harm from happening, and the affected public feel there is no recourse or change they can effect to improve the bad situation, then violent revolution or uprisings may be necessary to fight those state officers who take pay to defend the government, and to remove the government who offer no dialogue or no chance to change the unpopular and harmful action that they undertook. Whenever possible, any government should seek to compromise with the public's needs. Do what the poor ask of them, and never interfere with people's lives or constrain or control their movements or behaviours. If the government encroaches on the freedoms of the public, that government forfeit their own right to freedom. Libertarians or AnCaps, come in and tell me any other instances I've missed.